Hey there, cats and kittens, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the MonkeyBoy Presents the DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss, and today I'm very happy to bring you issue number 86, Magog. And this is yet another extremely underrated character, I feel. He never really got his due, I don't think. He had a great solo series entitled Magog. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend checking it out. He was originally created as a sort of anti-hero type of character in a storyline known as Kingdom Come by the talented duo of writer Mark Waid and the artist Alex Ross. And Alex Ross even admitted, I thought this was an interesting little tidbit here, that he created him to be sort of everything he felt was wrong with a lot of the big anti-heroes at the time. He based him off of Cable, he even said, from the X-Men comic books. And he kind of made the most over-the-top character design he could think of, and when he was finished, lo and behold, he actually fell in love with the character of Magog. As I said, he's very obscure. He's never really been in anything other than the comic books. He did have a sort of cameo appearance on an episode of Young Justice as his alter ego, at least from the DC Universe proper, David Reed, Lance Corporal David Reed. So that's a neat little Easter egg that they kind of snuck into that episode. Other than that, he has only ever been in the comics, as I said. So without further ado, let's dive right into, of course, the magazine section, which will tell us everything we need to know about the character of Magog, also known as Lance Corporal David Reed of the U.S. Marine Corps, and then we'll take a look at the figure itself, covering the good, the bad, and the ugly. He's pretty interesting because he started out as a villain in Kingdom Come, basically, and became, I think, one of the coolest heroes in the DC Universe before he was unceremoniously killed off. But, of course, we'll cover all that shortly. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy issue number 86 of the DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss, Magog. First up, the character section. We learn that the original Magog was created for a storyline known as Kingdom Come, which took place in an alternate reality of the DCU, on an Earth known as Earth 22. It's revealed that in this universe, the Joker killed 93 innocent people in Metropolis, including Lois Lane, when he gassed the Daily Planet. Superman apprehended the Joker and was about to deliver him into police custody when Magog arrived on the scene and executed the Joker in front of everyone. Next we meet the man who will become Magog in the DC Universe proper, also known as New Earth, Lance Corporal David Reed. The US military devised a handheld weapon for him to use that could channel the plasma energy that he was able to wield. And he also became a member of the Justice Society of America. During a mission to the Congo with the JSA, David Reed was attacked by militiamen and was seemingly killed in an explosion. David felt indebted to the being known as Gog and became his willing acolyte while still serving with the JSA. Unfortunately, after the JSA discovered that Gog was actually draining the life essence of the planet, Magog had no choice but to turn on the being that had saved his life. Magog continued to serve with the JSA and eventually joined their splinter group, the JSA All-Stars. David Reed embarked on a solo career as Magog after leaving the JSA. During this time, he discovered the mystical world of Albion and a woman known as Alba who claimed to be Magog's mother, and also said that Magog and David Reed were two separate beings. Magog eventually left Albion and returned to Earth, where he discovered that the being known as Gog was actually an alien who had left bits and pieces of himself within technology scattered around the world. Finally, we learn that Magog was killed by the villain known as Maxwell Lord, who had recently been resurrected during the event known as Blackest Night, Brightest Day, and in the storyline Generation Lost, he forced Magog to kill himself with his own plasma weapon. Next, we look at a couple of Magog's classic stories. First up, Kingdom Come. And this is basically a cautionary tale that takes place in an alternate future reality of the DC universe. We learn that heroes like Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman have sort of been cast aside by society, deemed old and sort of obsolete, by a new generation of younger, more violent, almost anti-heroes. We meet Magog as he murders the Joker, who's being handed over to police. We learn that he's acquitted in a trial, and we basically discover that society wants this more violent type of anti-hero. Ultimately, there's a showdown between the old heroes who come out of retirement and try to stop this more reckless and basically villainous type of heroes that are now ruling the world. We also have Justice Society of America, Thy Kingdom Come. And this is basically a sequel to Kingdom Come that takes place in the DCU proper, also known as New Earth, and we find that the Superman of Earth 22 has somehow been transported to New Earth during the nuclear war that resulted in Kingdom Come. He meets this Earth's Magog, also known as Lance Corporal David Reed, and tries to deal with the fact that this is not the same Magog he knew in his Earth. This Magog is actually a decent man who is really trying to do the right thing. And Superman of Earth 22 basically spends the whole time sort of keeping an eye on this new Magog, hoping that history doesn't repeat itself. Magog's Friends and Foes section includes the villainous false deity known as Gog, the Superman from Earth 22, also known as the Kingdom Come universe, and finally Magog's teammates on the JSA. Finally, the iconography section takes a look at some of the other godlike beings in the DC universe. It looks a little bit more at the ancient being known as Gog. It gives a quick look at some of the titans of ancient myth, and tells how former Wonder Girl Donna Troy was actually a tool of one of the titans of myth for a while, before becoming a titan herself. We also learn of some ancient evil gods, known as the Forgotten Titans, as well as gods from other planets, like the new god known as the Black Racer. And here we have Magog, also known as David Reed, and it's another figure that really took me by surprise, to be honest with you. I love the character, loved him in Kingdom Come, was happy to see them bring him into the DCU proper with his appearance in JSA. Hated what DC did to him during the Brightest Day event, though. I felt he really got shafted. He was a great character. It was a missed opportunity. They need to bring him back. Anyway, the figure itself is great. This sculpt is what really makes this guy. Yeah, he's sort of plain to look at. He's very blah. He's not very colorful. He's very drab, browns and blacks and that deep, deep gold. although it's all very accurate. I mean, he looks exactly as he should. I love that gold. It's perfect. It's got a nice metallic flecking. You can see just the sculpt going on, not just the musculature, but all the pouches on his combat pants, the buckle and the belt, the gun that's holstered, the bandolier on his shoulder with the rounds that are right there for, I'm presuming, the gun that he's wearing. He also has his blaster rod there, which is great. It is not removable, though. You'll see it is attached to his right hand, all the way down to the boots with those nice combat boots that look padded and armored. It's really fantastically detailed. He's not for everybody, and I do have some problems with him, that's for sure. He's not flawless. A couple of issues I have personally as a fanboy that I'll address, of course, in the next section here in just a moment. Magog stands atop the classic DC logo, and the underside of his base features his name and serial number. And to give you a sense of size and scale, here he is next to his Kingdom Come co-star, Superman. And one more of him alongside all of the other members of the Justice Society of America that Eaglemoss has produced so far. Magog is another surprisingly nice figure in this line for me. He's another one I wasn't expecting a whole lot from. I definitely put him in the same category as characters like the Hitman or Detective Chimp. There are astounding details on him, and the good definitely outweighs the bad on this guy. So let us begin with, of course, the good. Pretty much everything, to be honest. I think he is extremely impressive. I love the pose. It's classic and iconic. It's straight off of one of the covers. I like the fact that he has his plasma rod. There's tons of detail on this guy. Tons of detail. The sculpt is outstanding. The paint is clean and accurate. Really, there is almost nothing wrong with him. You can see the detail I'm talking about, especially starting at the boots. They look padded. They're combat boots. The color is nice. They're this deep, nasty-looking brown. They look worn. They look used. It looks like he's seen combat in them. Love the knee pads. Love the black of the pants. The wrinkling, the crinkling, all of the pockets and pouches on the bandoliers that he's wearing. I like the fact that you can see every little strap, every little snap, every single button on the character is represented. The holster on his waist with the gun in the holster is a fantastic touch. I like the fact that you can see his abs, his chest. The flesh tone is really impressive. The bandolier is also awesome. He has the bullets on that bandolier. His right arm is also nice. I like the fact that he has those bullets around the bicep there. The musculature is outstanding. Again, the flesh tone is really nice. The black gloved hand is cool. He's holding the plasma rod, and as you can see, it is attached to the figure. It's not a separate piece. The left arm is also very nice. It's that same gold metallic color. It looks cybernetic or robotic or whatever it's supposed to be. It's really, really cool. And that continues all across the back. And you can see the musculature is present even underneath that metal skin, and then you can see just a hint of his actual flesh, and then the bandolier again. The plasma rod is also very nice. You can see it is very tall. It stands a good inch taller than him, and the end of it is extremely detailed, perfectly accurate. It's split down the middle. It has that little raised portion off on the one side. And finally, the head sculpt is, I think, very impressive. It's not flawless, unfortunately, but it's very nice. You can see they are obviously going for the more Kingdom Come inspired look of Magog here, and not so much the more recent version with the JSA, the younger version. But it's nice. Love the horns. The gold color is great. You can see his one ear is the flesh tone, the other ear is that same gold like the rest of his head. And the eye is neat, the fact that he's missing the one and it's sort of scarred, and he has the gemstone in the middle of the forehead. And it's a stern-looking face. He looks aggressive, he looks tough and sort of scary, almost villainous. It's a very nice head sculpt overall. But it is also the bad, unfortunately, and that's the head sculpt is the only bad on this figure. There's no bleeding or anything to speak of. Everything on him is really excellent. It's just the head sculpt has some issues. First of all, the eye. I like the fact that they gave him the one blind eye, the one that's supposed to glow with energy. I just wish that it looked like it was glowing with energy and wasn't just, plain white like it is. Finally, the head sculpt, like I said, he's too old for my liking. I mean, I get it. I know they're going with the Kingdom Come version, and it looks perfect for that version. I just wish it was the younger David Reed version from the JSA and the self-titled series. That's all. I think this is nice. I just wish it wasn't the old head sculpt. Finally, the ugly, and I'm sure you've already guessed it, it's the plasma rod. As perfect as it is very fragile. If it falls over, it will snap, especially at the top there. You can see mine is even a little bit bent, but that's how it came. I would also recommend, if you have the ability to check before you purchase, doing so, just to make sure it isn't broken in the package. Overall, I'm very pleased with this character. I like Magog a lot. I think he really got shortchanged the way they killed him off, the way they did. I hope they bring him back eventually. And I think if you know the character from Kingdom Come or from the JSA and his self-titled series, you should definitely pick him up. It's really neat having him next to Superman, and his scale, I didn't really mention it, is pretty accurate too, especially when we're talking the Kingdom Come version, which is, I think, the one they were going for with this statue. Is he for everybody? Definitely not. He's very obscure, as I said, and he's not the most colorful character, but I think he's extremely interesting looking, especially with those big demonic-looking horns. I also like having him with the JSA. I really like the JSA characters a lot. They're different, they're colorful, they're unique, that's for sure. So, is he for everyone? No, but I recommend him. I really like him. I think he is near flawless, and I really hope you have enjoyed my review of Magog here. Please stay tuned for a quick teaser trailer of the next figure in the series. It's time again, ladies and gentlemen, for a special edition, and this is one that a lot of you have been asking about, a lot of you have been requesting. I'm glad to say that we're finally to my favorite, the craziest bounty hunter I know in all of the DC universe. So stay tuned for his quick teaser. As always, I'm your host, the MonkeyBoy, aka Jay to his friends. Thanks for watching.